Hello, hello, and welcome to Onyx Path Con, where we are playing Trinity Continuum Aegis. I am your story guide, Scott Cuban. My pronouns are he, him, and I will go around the table, let everybody introduce themselves, and tell us who they are playing. And we'll just start at the left of myself on the screen with Michael.
Yeah, hey, thanks for having me. My name is Michael Diamond. My pronouns are he, him, and I will be playing the folk hero. His name is Demetrius Atos, and the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Right, and we will go down to Mare.
Hello there. My name is Mare. You can find me on socials at Oh Hello Mare pretty much everywhere. And I am playing Basilides Acris, the navigator. My pronouns are she, her, but his pronouns are he, him.
Got it. And we'll go one to the right with Jeremiah.
I am Jeremiah McCoy, aka Basics the Game, and I'm playing Gregaros. It's the old wise guy.
Awesome. And once again, moving to the right, we'll go to Gilbert.
Hello, everyone. I am Gilbert Ramos, aka Ramos the Nomad. Today I am playing Arcturus, the Great Bear.
Awesome. And then finally, moving up one, we go to Luna.
Hi, I'm Luna, or Druid by Night, and my pronouns are she, her, and today I will be playing the High Cleric Evangelia Aura.
Awesome. So, we begin at the ending of a great journey. Many, many months ago, you were all called to the slopes of Mount Olympus, where a great prophecy had been held, had come upon by different seers. A land far to the east, with a noble and strong people who seem to lack heroes of your caliber of their own, are threatened by a terrible monster from out of the seas of time. You have been given resources, weapons, a ship, or the capacity to have to buy a ship if you need one when your journey takes you that way. For you are going over many, many miles of land and rivers and lakes and even oceans. A chief among those is a compass that, when held and focused upon, will point to the surest path that will lead you to where you are meant to go to help protect and save these people from this terrible monster. We have gone, as I said, for many, many months traveling sea and land and rivers and lake to come to this point where the compass is pointing ever eastward, but you are beginning to see the shores of this distant land that you have come to, and it is leading you that way. We come to the deck of a ship that has been built and rebuilt and repaired many times over the course of this journey as monsters and bandits and who knows what have come to try and stop you or simply take what you have. And you are sitting around the cooking apparatus as you see land coming into view. You have stopped by various islands on the way, so it has not been a complete sea journey. And upon one of those islands, you found a native, someone who seems to be very, very plucky, very quick on the uptake. He's been able to figure out some of the strange language that you all speak, and you can communicate a little bit with them. And this person has agreed to be your guide as you come upon this far and distant shore. And as you are sailing your way, very quickly, as a result of the navigator's sure, strong hand and knowledge of moving from place to place, you are filling this young man's head with tales of your adventure. So who would like to tell the first tale of their heroic deeds as they have gone from the west to the east? And start by describing your character by doing so.
Yeah, sure. So Demetrius, one of the tales that he would have told, perhaps just once, as he is likely not as boisterous as others. He prefers to let his actions do the talking. Upon the Isle of Crete, there was a horrid and bedeviling creature let loose from the depths of the underworld, and the people of Crete sought refuge in their homes from this terrible creature. And while Demetrius was still but a young man, he was called by Hermes to travel fast to Crete and slay this monster. So from the martial courts there, he left, sword, shield, and spear in hand, and traveled and was, for a time, bedeviled by this monster because it sought to control his mind.
And among your companions, who amongst your companions were there to shake you out of this control and help you fight?
That's a great question. I wonder which one of them would be good at that.
I think that Gregaros probably saw through the heart of the problem and helped shake you out of the issues. His sight is clearer than most, even able to see through the stone should the matter require it. And he probably shook you out of your enrapturement.
Wonderful. Now, with the assistance then of Garros, they would have saved the people of Crete from such a terrifying creature.
Neat. And what do these characters look like now that we're telling their stories?
So Demetrius is a tanned Athenian man. He stands probably just under 5 feet tall, clean shaven. He has long, slightly curled hair that probably bounces a bit in the wind when he moves. And he has a broad smile, which he keeps as his Aegis most times.
See. Well, then, so that is how these two met. Who next did they meet upon their journey as they were making their way to this call to Olympus to go on this great journey?
I mean, if we're going to go to Olympus, we would need a navigator, I would imagine. Someone to show us the way.
I see. So
Yes.
how do they meet our navigator? What is our navigator doing when these two other heroes come upon him?
If they happen to go down by the docks, they hear a jolly, bright laugh. One of those voices that has never been quiet a day in its life. Something between trying to gamble, trying to play a game, trying to make a deal, trying to just say, come on, are none of you are willing to come and adventure, to come see the wide open seas. I need a crew and you need a ship. I have what you want. Come and join Basilides.
And what does Basilides look like as they're making this extolation to great heroes?
Basilides seems to be more biceps than man for the most part. He is tall. He has dark skin with a thick beard that seems to curl forward. He has embellished trinkets along his vests and bands wrapped around his arm, almost as if every item that he wears has a story of its own. His eyes are darkened. They have coal that goes sweeping out to the sides, perhaps with other pigments of colorful gems that were crushed down to make something. He is bright and flamboyant with a smile, a broad white smile. And seeing the two. Come. You two look as though you need a journey, right? You seem
Indeed.
like you are seeking passage.
We are.
I think
We're
there's
heading to Mount Olympus.
a stark contrast between how Basilides looks and the aged form of Gregaros the Wise, who looks overweight and long gray hair, but still has vigor.
Father and son, come to join. I'll be the uncle. We will have a grand time on our way to Olympus. You'll get there no safer and no faster with anyone else. It will all be, I am here. Let us do this.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. This is definitely an auspicious beginning.
Indeed. And so a short but no doubt eventual journey from Crete to the mainland occurs. And who do they meet upon making landfall on the way to Olympus?
I think while in port, another traveler would have arrived on her own ship from the island of Eleusinia. Shortly after felling a cult, what that she was once a part of. Once it was just an average mystery cult worshiping the gods and giving to the community, but unfortunately overtaken by those with more sinister goals. And
what does she look like?
Yes, so stepping off the ship is a woman of tan skin and dark hair. She wears dark robes with kind of a red shawl to accent it, with pomegranates embroidered on the robes and the shawl itself. A pouch that is brimming with herbs for any ailment, any need, and a walking staff.
And I assume you are drawn to this band of three men who look like they are walking with a purpose on the land.
Yeah, she was also feeling the call and would ascertain and quickly ask the gods and thank them for this auspicious step in her journey and friends to travel with.
Yeah, and when you ask the gods, you feel a strong wind at your back moving you towards them.
Perfect.
And so how does she approach these three?
Approaching them, she would be almost not timid, but observing their interactions, observing how they are first before fully approaching and speaking with them.
So what does she observe as you guys are walking through the city?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Gregaros is probably giving, expounding upon the mysteries of the things around them. Why, how do they settle upon these prices? Are they some sort of mystical force that guides them, or is there a need that must be addressed? It is a thing worthy of study, to be sure.
I can simply tell you that the price of the lamb at the Lyre is absolutely worth it. Some of the best lamb I've ever had in my life. The gods sang. I thought they were sirens. No, it was just the lamb. The herbs so delicious.
Sounds splendid.
I think at that she would approach and would say, "Well, I'll have to try it."
Hmm?
Hello,
Wow.
you lot seem like you're traveling, I would assume, to Mount Olympus.
Indeed.
Huh. So am I. Would you mind if I join you? I could use traveling companions.
Wonderful. A full ship is a happy ship. Come, you want to join us?
I would love that. Thank you.
Very good.
And so the cleric joins the party. And as you guys make your way up towards the mountain, as you see begin to seem to loom in this distance, you're traveling. Night falls along a wooded road, and as it does, as the moon begins to rise, you hear the sounds of animals and beasts out in the wilderness. Something has riled them up as you begin to, with trepidation, perhaps get ready for perhaps some bestial encounters. But then, coming out of the woods, coming out of the darkness, just as these wolves are about to set upon you, what do we see coming to their rescue?
A large individual, burly, less Herculean, more the strongman type. So there's a layer of some meat that will keep him warm in the cold winters. Just a big burly dude, rushing forward into the fray, sounding much like an animal himself. Yeah, we're not exactly nonverbal, just making animal noises.
And yes, with the help of this newcomer, these hungry wolves that seem to have set upon you are quickly dispatched by sword and power, giving you a chance to settle down for the night, as you are sure to be soon upon the slopes of Mount Olympus. And what is the conversation around this particular fire like as this newcomer comes?
What brings you?
Yes. Look at the size of it.
Don't worry, friends, the danger is past. I am your savior this day.
What a savior indeed. That is a mighty fine trick. You don't happen to have, any other knowledge on how someone can understand and learn such a skill, do you?
I am blessed by the gods with my my acumen, my education. Unfortunately, I'm afraid that it is a gift that I am unable to share, at least for the time being.
Well, it is a fine gift for us to witness. Remarkable. The gods do smile upon us.
What
Yes, they do.
what brings you around these parts?
We traveled to Mount Olympus.
Truly,
Truly.
I am heading there myself.
Many
Oh,
mystery might be
perfect.
solved there.
I have I must entreat with the gods. I have questions that need answered. Might I accompany you?
After such a display, how could we say no? You would be welcome here by the fire and to our travels.
Excellent. So, as you all camp down for the night, getting to know each other a bit better now that you seem... there's a feeling of completeness as this large man joins you all. There's a feeling of, yes, these are the right people who I should be traveling with. And eventually, you set out on the road again, and within a day or two, you are at Mount Olympus, where a great city has been built upon the slopes. And within perhaps an hour of arriving in this city, you are met by a young woman who has this sort of starry-eyed gaze, who just sort of runs into one of you and then seems to recognize all of you. She says, Yes, I have seen the five of you. You are who I am supposed to bring to the conclave, the circle of heroes, and the Society of the Lion and the Delphic Order. They told me, they helped me see my vision of the five of you. I must bring you to them. They have a task. And she just sort of, without waiting for any of you to acknowledge her, she just seems to start walking up the slope of the mountain.
That's good enough for me.
I think I
Navigator is
shrug
fine
and
as well.
just, shrug and just keep walking. Follow her.
Indeed.
So yes, you are led through the various gates and pathways and roads that lead up to the houses of the colleges, where you are led to the main chapter house of the College of the Circle of the Heroes. And this is, you know, I would not call it a mercenary company. Of course not. These are heroes. These are people who are dedicated to slaying the monsters of the world, protecting the weak of the world, and making the world a safe and good place through valor and strength, and wisdom. And when you reach this area, there are other representatives. As she said, someone from the Society of the Lion is there, and someone from the Delphic Order is there. And they are, when this young woman leads you into their chamber, they seem to kind of like nod and acknowledge her, and then turn their attention to you. And they say, "It has been fated that you five come here. We have seen a great evil that must be conquered. And your names have come to us through the ambrosia, through vision, and through thought. We task you to go far into the east, farther even than any of our explorers have gone that we know of. For something lurks on a distant shore that threatens a people who do not have the strength of ambrosia to protect themselves. I understand that we are asking a great thing of you, O heroes that have come. But without you, this monster will rampage that shore, and the world will lose people and the stories and the virtues that they bring to it. Do you accept this call?"
If it is heroes you need, you have found them.
Who are we to question visions gifted from the gods?
Well,
I am too wise to call myself a hero, but I will accompany the others to provide them with guidance, if nothing else.
Sounds like a grand adventure.
indeed. Well, and they begin to pull out various packages of things, weapons, that you can choose from if you so desire. Nothing on the scale of an artifact, but good, strongly built weapons. And they give you sort of vouchers for provisions in the various cities along that they believe will be along your way. Eventually, those vouchers won't be good for anything because you're going farther than anyone has ever gone before.
Right.
But enough to make it on your way. And finally, the representative of the Society of the Lion holds out this sort of golden circle that is, has this sort of compass design on it with the arrow pointing straight to the east, and says, "This will lead you on your path. This will show you always show you the surest path to where you need to go. It is very delicate. You must protect it, for otherwise I fear you may be lost out in this world." And he sort of holds it out in general to the group, seeing who will take it.
After a moment of hesitation of watching everybody else, I imagine Gregaros would be like, "I will handle this guide. We have a navigator, but this seems to be more esoteric than what our navigator does."
And when you take it, when you put it in your hand, your eyes sort of flash and you see a vision of yourself, older, more travel worn, walking alone on a beach. And then your vision returns to the present.
Fascinating.
Very well. Well, we do not know what time. Obviously, you have time to get there if the gods are true in giving us this vision. but I doubt you should tarry.
No, there is no time to tarry.
So you are loaded up with provisions, loaded up with vouchers and things to pass on to various merchants in the cities that these colleges have a presence in along the way. Back through the woods with these provisions, and back to the ship of our navigator, where the great journey truly begins. And as I've said, there are many stories, many things that have happened on this journey. You have all been taken, and you are having recounted to this young man, this native guide, who you found on an island, the story of how you all came together. What is the next story that is told? Who would like to extol their deeds to this young impressionable boy who is going to be guiding you in this foreign land about what happened along the way? I'm gonna point at somebody. All right. I don't mess around with this sort of thing. You got to be quick on the jaw. We're gonna go with the Great Bear. What heroic deed did the Great Bear do along this long and many story journey?
A great deal of fighting. I think a lot of the stories that the Great Bear that Arcturus tells are tales of violence. I don't think that there's I think that that's a primary focus, like of the hard won battles, and that the his strength is truly comes from strength, and that um if the boy is young and impressionable, if he takes Arcturus's words into account, and if there was no other individual around, Arcturus would impart that uh, feats of strength make you worthy of the god's blessings, and that that is how your measure is weighed.
And he kind of and you, like I said, this guy is very precocious. He seems to pick up, and it's not perfect communication, but he says, "I understand. Yes, I know. I know. That sounds so wise and true. What is the biggest monster you have killed as you have come to us?"
I will tell a tale of a a boar that was let loose from the god's own hunting ground, a beast that Artemis herself was hesitant to hunt. Uh, Whether that is true or not, up to interpretation. But it was a big ass pig.
Big ass pig. And you tell the story of how you ran this pig down, and as you all are all listening to this story, and when you were there when this happened, and he's making it sound like this was his thing. Did anyone else contribute to this battle against this boar of heaven?
I'm not quite sure it was a boar of heaven. I'll counsel the young lad that occasionally Arcturus may give the story perhaps a little bit more intensity with his words. It may not have been more than a sort of point to midway up his body. Yay high, but very fierce. Very fierce.
Nonsense, Demetrios. It was twice my size, perhaps even 3 times your own.
Twice the amount of ales that you'd had, perhaps 3 times the amount of herbs that have been ingested. Yes. But the boar was defeated. That is no lie.
And as the two of you are kind of going back and forth, this young boy kind of turns to the priestess of Endland and says, "I know the sound of older men telling tales. What did you see when this happened? What really happened, ma'am?"
Well, From my vantage point, I of course only provide support where I can, but from where I was watching, I saw two men competing with one another over who could fell the beast the quickest.
Mm. And he kind of turns and says, "And you, elder, what did your wise eyes see? Are they telling it true?"
Well, truth is hard to define quite so easily, but I can tell you what I saw. I saw two men led astray by a witch finding the thing they most wanted, a challenge, a thing that they wanted so that she could keep them distracted. I, of course, saw through the illusion, and while they were fighting mighty beast indeed, the mighty beast was a man that the witch had previously ensorcelled.
And he turns last to our navigator and says, how did this? What were you doing while all this was happening?"
Laughing heartily the entire time. I did my best to make some kind of wager with my other companions. However, I knew it would be on a losing one with our wise friend here, and, well, I honor the lady too much to potentially corrupt with my gambling ways, although, things for a fun time. I'll be honest, I'm not even certain if I remember. Betting against yourself is never a good idea. So I can't really recall who was the victor in the end now that I think of it.
He just kind of laughs and says, "What a great story! Oh, you were truly such great heroes. Oh, I do believe that you will be the ones to help us." And says, What? Surely that was not the only great battle or great mystery that you encountered along this way. You say you've come from so far."
Lad, have you ever heard the most beautiful song you've ever heard sung? I have. I dove deep into the waters to find that song, and I laid my eyes on the most beautiful women, sirens, singing them. I wanted to take one to become my bride. And in exchange, they simply stole my heart, and now I must live here above the waters instead.
And he just kind of like wide-eyed looking at and looks to the rest of you and says, "That sounds very saucy. What did you all see while this was happening?"
Well, I, being a clever man that I am, decided that I would not listen to such things. I instead spent the time trying to solve some mathematical problems I had discovered in my youth. So I was actually uh, stuffing my ears filled with wax so I could hear none of the singing and not be led astray.
I
So
find this I find this compelling, in that this tale has continued to be retold, now to you, boy, 2 or 3 times, each time in the wrong way. The sirens, which Vasily speaks of as, well, bar maidens at Minkios, after some trouble with the gambling debts and whatnot along the way, which of course our mathematician Gagaros has even difficulty counting at this point. We encountered 3 or 4 different wine bearers, and Vesalius, after long series of travels, was gripped by a great thirst. I think it might have even taken myself and Necturus to drag him away from the bar at that point.
Yes, I
But-
remember that.
Nay, you remember incorrectly. The bar came after the sirens, if I recall. I I distinctly remember Basilides and I in a sort of contest, if I recall, for these maidens' affections. Sirens though they were, we perhaps unwisely we did not stuff our ears full of wax, and instead engage in a competition of sorts. Who would win the hearts of these fair maidens? The bar, if I remember correctly, came after the fact.
Oh, this is such a strange tale you tell me. Uh, please, you tell us, the great priestess, what, with the clarity of the gods, what actually happened?
Sometimes the gods speak in riddles, and sometimes they speak in song, sung by fair maidens. But yes, these fair maidens were indeed barmaids. Though fair they were, and though their song was beautiful, fortunately, it did not drag anybody to the depths of Poseidon's domain.
You speak so eloquently about your gods. Surely you have tales of them. Surely you had encounters along your journey, O priestess.
He shifts a little and looks out wistfully. I do. I grew up in a cult, a mystery cult. We gave to our community as best we could. We serviced the gods in every aspect of our lives until those of bad faith came and corrupted what once was beautiful. Fortunately, the gods blessed me with the ability to stop them before it became widespread all over Greece, which was their goal.
And did that corruption follow you out on this great journey of yours?
It dogs at my heels, but with prayer, I stave it off.
How pious, how pure. What about the rest of you? Have you seen this corruption that the priestess speaks of?
Corruption, no, but the will and movement of the gods, yes.
Tell me more.
I don't wish to take away from our priestess's plight, but I will say this. The gods and their agenda is unknown to mortal men. All beasts are at their whim. That is all I'll speak on that matter.
And he kind of looks to the rest of you like, your gods seem so strange, although similar in some aspects to the spirits of my land. What of the rest of you? What other tales of the gods do you have?
There was a test at one point that we had to pass to be able to pass through certain straits. For us to make it through, our navigator skillfully took us through the fastest route, but we came across the straits that required us to pass through one of two paths. One would lead us into a maelstrom that would destroy us, and the other one through the possibility of getting lost forever. And the god of the sea presented this test before me, and I solved the riddle. The catch was that these two paths had to go past this island. So we, instead of going through the two passes, landed the boat and carried the boat to the far side of the island so that we did not have to pass through either dire threat.
clever. That is clever, wise one. Did this go easily? Did you have any trouble as you carried the boat? I mean, this is a very large vessel.
Arcturus is quite strong. We had several strong backs, and of course, my assistance in guiding them down to carry the weight more ably.
Amazing, amazing. And so you carried it across the whole island and made it to the sea on the other way?
Indeed, very clever solution, if I do say so myself. We used failed trees as wheels to slide them along more readily.
Amazing. Wow. Such genius. And he says, well, these stories, these tales that you tell, they are truly inspiring, because the evil that has been plaguing our lands is such. I shudder to think of it. But you've emboldened me. Your tales of heroism and wisdom. Many months ago, my people, our village, our great village, a man came to it, and he was very strange, stranger than any of you are to our eyes, and he strode about, taking what he wanted. We tried to speak with him. We tried to trade with him. We tried to perhaps deal with him in some way, but he would always bat anyone who tried to speak to him aside, and bark in this strange language that none of us could even begin to think. Even myself, I tried to understand what he was saying, but I did not. And he would come and he would go and just take what he wanted and hurt who he wanted. And eventually the people had enough of this. And we rose, our warriors rose up against him, and he laid them all to waste. And then he walked away. He walked out of the city and out of the village and off to the north. And so we called many of our warriors from neighboring villages, because we could not let this man wander this world. We could not let his crimes go unpunished. And so we got many warriors and followed him north. And we could not find him. His path led to a cursed place, a place of where many of our hunters have disappeared going to. But we did not find him there. Instead, we found a great bird, a monstrous bird, decked in the colors that he wore. And we knew that we could not face this monster. It was so big and so powerful. It was so loud, and none of our warriors had the heart to even approach it. As it perched atop the waterfall that was in this place. I hope that you are the heroes to help us defeat this bird and find this man who has brought this evil upon us. I don't know much more, but if you have questions because he kind of indicates as your compass is pointing, and says we are getting close to the shore. And to that cursed place. So please, if you have questions, I may not be able to answer them, but your stories have given me courage to answer what I can.
What more can you tell us of this bird?
I did not see it myself, but the stories of the warriors are truly frightening. It is, I don't know. He kind of looks around your ship. I think it's larger than your vessel itself. from what they told, and it is terrifying. The noises that it makes.
Can you
What color is it?
When the air is clear on the nights, you can hear it every now and then. This great it screeches, but it also makes these loud thunder noises. Did you have something else to ask?
Did your people see it more in the daytime or the nighttime? Was there any particular? You mentioned thunder. Does it show when it rains or when it's clear?
We did not return to that place. Thankfully, it has not come to our villages.
But when you say you heard it screech, so that's on clear nights only, or
On clear nights or clear days.
okay. So, but as long as the weather itself is clear.
Yes. When it is. Yeah. I don't know if this is true, but some people even hear music on the wind. Those who dare go north to hunt. None have approached the cursed bay.
But you know where the beast resides.
Yes, we believe that it is. It makes its nest atop the waterfall.
I think Arcturus would just kind of look to Demetrios and Gregoros kind of like a kid wanting to go to the candy store. Just
Well, obviously, we will investigate this beast, I suppose, this person who has the actions of a beast, to say the least.
He is clearly a cursed man with a great heart of evil. He says, "Well,
Were there particular things that he took, just standard supplies and resources, or did he lean towards taking certain items when he passed through your village?
food. Mostly it was food and drinks that were for the village that our hunters had brought from the wilds, and he would eat a great deal of it. He had a hearty appetite, and he would just take what he wanted. Occasionally, he would take. He would occasionally take a weapon, a bow or a spear, but he would usually just break them. But yeah, he mainly took our food from us.
And this was the only time he passed through your land, as far as in this.
He was in our village for I would say maybe a week's time. He would come and go before he headed to the north to the cursed bay.
Well, man or bird?
Hmm. Did it have any allies? This man or beast or whatever he was, did he have any allies?
No, he did not. He was alone, save for, we assume, the bird, that it was his ally or anything. We did not see any of him talking. He would occasionally, when he was deep in his cups, when he had drunken of our beer, he kind of closes his eyes and thinks and says it sounded like he was cursing, like he was lamenting, he was cursing, Mal. was the noise he made.
Said Mal?
Yeah, he tries to say it again. It's not a. It doesn't come naturally to him. The sound that he's trying to make. Mao, Mao.
Yeah, like he doesn't speak the language the
Yeah.
word was pronounced in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, we'll have to make a decision on which to go after first.
No, they both went the same way, and we know people. Our hunters who did go to that bay. Many of them, well, not many of them, but some of them would disappear. So it is our hope that he has also disappeared. But we left behind this terrible beast, or perhaps he is simply. We do not know what happened to him. We only know that the beast is there.
Yes, your people cannot exist. They cannot build the foundation of the future on hope alone.
How near are we to where the beast resides?
He says, he kind of looks out, and like I said, you're seeing the shore come into view, and he says, I think we should get there by morning, because you're speaking with him about like where things are. His village, and his village is to the south, and the compass is leading you, not to the village, but to like the north of the village. Where he has described that there's this bay that has a waterfall coming from into it, that's open to the sea.
With a waterfall?
Yeah, it is a very strange, it is strange geology. Like there's like a mountain there's a mountain that rises from up by the sea, or a large hill that has like a waterfall coming down from it. It's very strange. He says it is a cursed place.
Look forward to this confrontation. As should you, my young friend. I will clap him on the shoulder.
I am but a simple scout. I do not wish to confront such a thing.
Nonsense. You will take part in this hunt. The gods abhor cowards, my friend.
He kind of like that has struck him. He has been struck by that. That seems to frighten him even more. He says, "Well, I do not wish to affront your gods or our spirits."
I don't think you should worry too much. Arcturus is overbrave. He makes up for all our inadequacies in that department. I think you will be fine, and do your people proud just by showing us where to go.
If you are doubtful of your future, Evangelia may shine some guidance.
Yes, I was
Perhaps
thinking.
you can entreat on the boy's behalf.
Yes, I was thinking when we got closer to our location, to our destination rather, to ask the gods for guidance, visions.
I think that would be very wise to do so. But this is, like I said, I think we'll be there in the morning, and we've been up quite late telling these stories, these wonderful stories that you've told us. I think perhaps some rest first might be a good idea for all of you. I do not wish to see you great heroes be undone by something so mundane as sleepiness.
Rest well, my friend. Take joy in the fact that when we wake, you will have a new story of your own to bring back to your people.
I do love stories. And he kind of he tends to the fire, like shuts down the sort of like weird seafaring stove that you guys have on this vessel, and says, please get your rest, O heroes. I look forward to seeing you prevail. And we are going to take a short break before moving on to confronting this terrible monster. See you guys in a couple of minutes. Welcome back to Trinity Continuum Aegis here at Onyx Path Con. So when last we left our heroes from the west, they were approaching the shore of this great eastern land, which it's the Pacific Northwest. It's the west coast of North America for people who don't grok what's going on. Not that our heroes know anything about this strange continent far to the east of anything they've ever seen or known, but we can say that it's the west coast, up Vancouver way. But yes, so you guys are your ship. The sun rises. You guys have had a night of rest as the ship gets closer and closer. Eventually, your compass veers off a little bit to the south of where it has been leading you. You get sort of the impression that maybe just sailing straight into the bay where this big monster is might not be the surest path, because that's what this compass shows you is the surest path to where you need to go. So it's sending you a little bit south where you might have a place to land the boat and make a more stealthy approach, if you want to do that. But that's what the compass is doing. So how are we doing this? How are we approaching this bay? You see off in the distance, covered in mist, you see where there is a bay. But this mist is sort of covering everything. So it's hard to make out any details from where you are right now. How are you guys approaching this? And any abilities that you might want to use before you make landfall?
I have a thought.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a mist that is shrouding this area essentially.
And there's just a lot of mist in general. The shoreline is covered in mist. But you heard that there's a waterfall here in this area, so you're no doubt that's
the waterfall causing the mist, essentially.
It's just mist in general. It's the Pacific Northwest.
I do have a relevant gift.
Sure.
I have an infinitely penetrating gaze.
Mm-hmm.
Anything short of stone or steel I can see through, including this mist.
Okay. Is there a role associated with that, or is that just a thing?
Let me reread the section on it, but I think it's just a thing. And I can spend an inspiration if I want to see through steel or stone. It's a nifty ability. Double check. No, that's that. The document is long. Infinitely.
Anyone else, while he's looking that up, have thoughts about things they might want to do?
I do. I have where the current leads, but that is way more, we'll just say, I wouldn't say chaotic, I would say whimsical than probably our navigator wants to use, because it's basically just like spin the wheel and we land wherever. That's sort of that's sort of the energy they're in. But yeah, you basically leave it to chance.
Okay.
I have a gift called Brewing Weather.
Mm-hmm.
So I can either make a tea or boil herbs in a cauldron and then spend a point of inspiration in order to affect the weather. And that's more of a milder effect than some of the other things I can do.
Mm-hmm.
But part of me is like, that's burning an inspiration so fast.
It is.
Real fast.
Specifics on the penetrating gaze, Jeremiah?
Trying to get it to bring it up now.
Uh-oh.
My document's being weird.
Uh-oh.
Is that in the Aegis one?
Yeah, it's going to be in the Aegis book.
Yeah, it's in the Aegis one.
All right, let's see.
It's
Penetrating.
So where the current leads, Scott, doesn't cost me any inspiration. I actually gain inspiration when I use it.
Ah, interesting.
And so
So a moment's so this is here. I'll just drop this into
Yeah, go
our
ahead.
chat. I'll drop it into our chat here for Infinite Gaze. Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
I ignore any difficulties.
Oh, okay,
Mhm.
all right. Anytime notice things,
So is this my question, not mechanically, but story flavor wise, I
Sure.
guess, is this Gregarious going a little to the left? Nope, a little more to the right. Like,
no, okay. Here's how we'll resolve this, because you are a decent a ways away. You're not like right up on this bay. Like this is like the compass has like made this deviation as an option sort of as you guys sort of make your approach. But as you sort of focus a bit, Gregarious, and like sort of clear your eyes, you do pierce through the haze a bit. And still, so the mist is not obscuring your vision, but distance is. So you see through the haze, and you see this like sort of rocky outcropping, this kind of small mini mountain at the back of this bay. And you see this waterfall coming down, and judging the distance, you're like, okay, this comes down, and then there's probably a small river that flows into the bay. So there's some distance in between the bay itself and this waterfall. As this river comes down into the sea in this bay, and you do see, sort of shadowed and hazy in the distance, a hulking figure that is perched atop this rock where the waterfall is coming out, and it is very big and very imposing, and you get a gleam off of it that reminds you less of the feathers of an animal, but more like the tip of a spear.
And he will relay this to our navigator. The bay seems mostly clear, though there is some dread beast perched above that seems to be focusing down like a weapon ready to strike. I think we should be safe until we get up to the actual edge of the bay.
And like I said, the compass is leading you a little bit south, and your native companion says there's a landing area, essentially a place where it's not. I wouldn't call it a dock, but it is a place that the ship could get closer to, and you guys could disembark if you wanted to make your way on land up to this area.
I mean, I would prefer to be on land than water.
Yes, and this creature seems to be by water, though. Like it is at that waterfall's peak, right?
Yeah.
Around that area.
Around that. Okay, perfect. Yeah, then yes, let's moor the ship and head out by foot unless anyone opposes.
Before we do, could I use one of my gifts?
Absolutely, you could. Which gift would you like to use?
Divine Possession.
Okay. And how does that gift work for my edification and our viewers as well?
Yes, so I spend a point of inspiration to connect with divine energy surrounding myself. And I can learn about nearby threats or disturbances, the area's spirits or genus loci. I can get a full map of the area, location of enemies, atmospheric conditions. Basically, I want to know any pertinent information about our immediate impending battle.
Is there a role associated with this power, or is it just a spend it and you get it?
Just spend and get it.
Okay, then. So as the ship is being moored, our priestess, our cleric, is opening her eyes to the will of the gods, and you see the land. You see this coastline. You see the paths of both animals and people have made through this area, mostly hunters' trails. And so you see the way you find, you'll remember it when you walk it, the quickest, most efficient way to get from this mooring to the bay, and in the way that will lead you in the most sort of stealthy way. But along the path, you feel and see there is more than just this beast. There's more than just this giant bird thing. You feel that its presence has corrupted the land in some way, and the animals have been touched by this foulness that the beast and the man who is its master has brought to this land. So there are other dangers on the way, you can tell. And when your vision swoops up to the beast, what strikes you more than its size and more than its ferocity is its garishness. It is gaudy in its visage. That's in a surprising way. You were expecting some like terrible, foul, like menacing thing, and it is that, but it is just like it's horrific aesthetic is the most apparent and offending thing, such that like you recoil from getting like a perfect vision of it. But you do tell that it is very big and very menacing, and you definitely have this sense of danger from it. What is your intuitive facet?
So, 3.
3? I will let you ask 3 questions in addition to into the information that you've got. Little extra spice.
Oh, thank you. Does it appear to have any I don't want to say glowing weak spots, but any vulnerabilities that could be exploited?
It is very, like, you can tell when looking for its weaknesses, you get like an idea of its strength. It is very strong. It is very durable. But as you kind of like try and like focus through the audaciousness and the garishness of it, you see on the back of the neck it has a saddle.
Okay.
That speaks to you of maybe not a point of vulnerability, but maybe a point of control. 2 more questions.
Yes. If anybody has questions that I'm not thinking of, please throw them my way. The only other thing I can think of is the other dangers along the road.
What sorts of attack does it have? Like, is it just like got like the big beak, like a big claw? Like, does it have
Question, yeah.
and if any sort of like etherealness to it? Like, is it a dragon? Like that kind of thing.
I mean, you can definitely tell that it has talons and it has a beak, and those will mess you up. Like, they are very threatening. But under its wings, there is something very, very threatening. Like, more so than its beak and its wings. You can tell. You can't make out the shape of it because it's so unnatural and so strange. But underneath each of its wings, it has some things that could do real damage should they be unleashed upon you. And that's one more question. If anyone else wants to chime in and make a suggestion.
Hide. Sorry, go ahead.
I think we have the same question.
Yeah, so I'll just say, say my question is, how tied is it to the man?
Yep.
Like, what is the relationship there? What matters most there?
Okay. It is most certainly the man's servant. That if the man were to be around, certainly if he were to sit in the saddle, this thing would follow its orders unquestionably. But I will say, in your vision, as you've asked the gods for information, you see no sign of the man.
Mm. Okay. I will relay all this information as I receive it. Basically, talking like automatic writing, but like talking.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Does anyone else do anything as you guys are mooring the ship and getting ready to go down this path that your seer has seen for you?
I will put on the beast shape. I think I'm going to take the form of the great bear.
You're going to take the form of the great bear. So I know you have you have normal bear form, and you have another gift that makes even bigger bear form.
Yeah,
You're just going to go standard bear, or are you going full big guy?
standard bear for now.
Okay.
I will activate that if and when we get to
Yeah. So
our quarry.
So your friend here goes from a big man to a much bigger bear, size 1 to size 2 character, which you've seen him do this before, but it's still an impressive sight. Anyone else doing anything as you guys are starting to make your way to this trailhead? You're muted, Jeremiah.
Sorry, I was making a silly joking statement of I normally have to have a few drinks in me before I become like a bear. No, I think Gregaros is going to do his typical I'm just a harmless old man routine, walking with his walking stick towards the bird.
And your young native guide is helping you. He's making sure you don't trip over anything. He's very very attentive to you as an elder who seems to respect a great deal. What about either our hero or our priest? Anything preparations? Or our navigator? Anything?
Everything that I have is gonna be kind of an in the moment thing, I believe,
Yeah.
as opposed to trying to prep up something.
Gotcha. Okay. So.
Well, not me though.
Not you. You're good?
So we're gonna prepare something very important. I'd like to make sure that the youth is here for this as well.
Okay.
So I will say that we have a goal. Yes, the singular goal is to rid this land of these foul presences. And to do so, we must act and work together as best we can. Many heroes can come together for one task. And in do so, I'm going to use a gift called Form the Phalanx. And so what it's going to do is I'm going to spend inspiration, and it's going to initiate sort of a group effect. And the idea is that I'll roll close combat plus cunning, and I'm going to build a pool. Now, the cool part is that everybody else gets to help me do this. And so all the other characters get to roll skill plus cunning, and we gain a pool equal to the successes rolled to be spent on enhancements.
Dope.
Which skill plus cunning?
It's close combat plus cunning, so perhaps maybe not as advantageous for Gregaros, but
That's funny.
Question.
Mhm.
All right. So if it's something else plus cunning. Does it? Because I don't have close. Well, I don't have any dots. So I guess if I don't have
So-
any dots in close combat,
So just the text, the rule as written is skill plus cunning.
Mhm.
So I would
any
look to,
skill, just any
would
little
look-
casual skill.
I would look to Scott to say objectively how he wants to rule
If it
that skill
says
use.
Skill plus cunning, I would say that would be flavored by the individual and how they're helping out with this.
Oh,
So
storyteller.
I would say definitely pick a skill that you're good at.
I figure some of the things I'll be doing might involve pilot in a bit as far as skills go. Might I? Oh, because pilot is also working in like the directional use
Mhm.
of implements and things like that too.
Mhm.
Good, good, lovely,
You
lovely.
Have a gift that uses pilot for such things, yes?
I do, in fact, now that you mention it, yes.
So yes, everyone pick a skill and roll it plus cunning, and 8s and above are going to be your what you add.
I will be actually leaning into enigmas. Basically, it's not easy to think of things in terms of 3 dimensions. It's a mystery to solve, and this thing will probably be coming from above, and we need to think in 3 dimensions. So I'm using enigmas.
I'm creating a list of successes here, Scott, just so
Good
you're
idea,
aware.
Yeah.
So I have 6.
6, okay.
Got 6 8s. Nice.
I've got 3 10s.
Nice.
To be fair though, I
Oh.
roll 8 dice for the skill.
Mhm.
I forget what the 10s do. We
10s roll again.
10s roll again. Okay, well, I hit 2 of those. So
Nice.
all right. Not bad. Not bad.
If you roll, okay, so if you rolled a 10
Mhm.
and then you re-roll it and it's a 10 again, you re-roll it again, like it
Yeah.
could continue. That's nuts.
It keeps
Okay.
going.
So that gets me to 5 then.
Oh boy.
Nice.
I'm feeling less and less bad about what I'm about to do to you.
Well, keep in mind they're just enhancement dice, and the cool part is that they're a pool, and so it means we can all draw from them.
Mm-hmm.
Gilbert, what do you got?
1 success. I'm so sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry.
I also had 8
Same.
dice.
Jeremiah's got 4. Luna's got 1. Okay, so that is of the
See-
pool. That's
Mhm.
17.
These biceps over here, right? They're not just for show. You're
There you go.
Mm.
No, not at all.
Smart man.
Now, Luna, I believe your character, if I'm not mistaken, has a gift that allows them to like enchant a weapon.
Yes, but it's only for a scene, so I am
Well,
waiting.
this is about to be a
Yeah.
scene, so
Okay, so if I can do it now, then absolutely.
definitely set that
Make
up.
a
and it'll be
scene.
a part of the same scene.
That's right. Make a scene.
I do have a question because I have an ability and I want to know if I can wait until the final moment to use it.
You know what? I like the sound of that. That sounds nice and dramatic.
Yeah.
But maybe let me know what you're planning through the chat or
What? Yeah, I can send you a chat if you want.
yeah, send me something so I know what's coming.
Okay. It'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Excited.
So, any other preparations before you guys start to make your way down this northern trail?
How would you describe the weather currently?
The
Like-
weather is
Like as temperature wise and
temperature wise. You guys are. Let's say you guys are in the heat of summer.
Okay.
So the sun is definitely bearing down, but as you make landfall, you are entering into this pervasive mist. So
it's kind of like humid, cool.
it is definitely like so you have the combination of the heat of the sun and this moisture that is itself very cool as it's coming down off the mountains and condensing. So it's a combination of muggy but also not as bad as it could be. So it's there's ambiguity between the environments that you're walking through. This cool mist meeting the hot sun is putting you in kind of an in-between state of comfort.
Good to know. Thank you.
There's a light drizzle, very light drizzle, that accompanies the mist. Anything else? Any other questions, preparations?
I would like to use Overthrow the Gods and enchant a weapon.
Okay.
Anybody's weapon who would like it. I imagine, yeah,
Yeah,
perfect.
that'd be great. Thanks.
Okay.
I am Bear.
Yeah, Bear's pretty good. Bear alone is pretty good. All right, so you guys, and make sure to let him know what that does to his sword.
Yes, I will put it in the chat.
Yeah, absolutely.
In this chat.
Awesome. Okay. Right. Alrighty, so you guys start to make your way, and thanks to the forewarning of your seer, you guys are not surprised when these terrible creatures start to sort of yip and harass you through the mist. You get a few glimpses of them before you actually see one, and you guys have seen creatures affected by ambrosia before. They look, they get bigger, they get sort of nastier. Their claws are a little sharper. Maybe they have some unnatural appearances to them. That is not what these creatures look like. These creatures look they look as ferocious as they do sick. Like they have growths upon them. And oozings coming out of them. They do not look healthy as they come and attack you. But you are all well prepared to fight these creatures. These are not, as strange as they are no match for your group. So I would like everyone to describe how they dispatch this pack of diseased creatures that are coming out at you.
I think the only way that I could help in this situation would be after blessing the weapon, I would get glimpses of the immediate future. So before they attack, I'd be on your left.
Cool.
Or, yeah, like that.
Yeah, I think after the blessing on the sword, I think it's less about it's not about the sound that the beasts make when Demetrios fells them. It's the song the blade sings through the air when they carve the path.
That's cool. I like it.
Love that.
How many of these beasts are there?
Oh, let's say there's 5 of them just to make it fun.
Beautiful. And there's water nearby because of the waterfall
there's a stream that you guys can follow.
Beautiful. Okay. Basilides starts to gesture and move his hands, and from the water, tendrils begin to pull up from it. Maybe we'll find out. Because he's going to summon forth the waters of Hades. And there are several different types of waters of the 5 rivers that exist in Hades. And for this, he's going to use word here, phlegathon, which is essentially as these waters start to pull, the water itself seems to turn to a flame.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what about so we have Gregarious and the bear. How do they attend to these wolves, these creatures?
Gregarious is, for a moment, watching them approach, flips over a sort of hourglass that hangs from a chain around him
Mm-hmm.
And when he does, time stops.
Ooh.
And he proceeds to walk over, grab a tree and a cord, and makes it so that the wolves that's in mid leap is going to have its mouth run into the cord
Nice.
to stop it,
Love it.
and ties it on both ends tautly. And
And what about the bear? How does the bear bring it all home?
We do bear things. I'm not as cool as everybody else. I'm a bear. I'm gonna where these things look diseased, so I'm gonna claw. We're gonna avoid doing any bites or any sort of any gnashing of teeth or anything like that. We're just gonna do claws.
Okay. Yeah, so you rip these things apart, and they all fall, and as they bleed and die, there's a heat that sort of comes off of them as their sort of natural body heat. There's a flameless heat that sort of emanates from all of them. And it just so happens to be enough of a power source that allows you guys to restore any inspiration that you guys spent doing those cool, very cool, specific things. Because we were in a more narrative space. But yeah, it's just sort of this flameless heat just kind of boils away from them, and they're left less corpses, more goo. And there is, as you guys are sort of, catching your breath from this fight, a shadow passes over you all, and a screech is heard as this monstrous shape flies over you and then returns from whence it came.
We
So-
become Big Bear.
So the trail continues to lead the exact right way, where you guys reach a vantage point on one side of the beach of this bay, where it's still this. You see the waterfall, you see the river that's leading down to the sea. The mist is covering everything, but you can kind of make things out, and you're in a vantage point where you can try and get a better look at what you're dealing with. So who would like to try and get closer or do something that might give you a better view while you're still sort of shrouded by this mist? And you don't know if it hasn't seen you or not, but it is not currently attacking you. So would anyone like to try anything to gather a last little bit of information before this thing kicks off?
I will actually, using my ability of infinite piercing vision,
Mm-hmm.
and this time I will actually spend an inspiration on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look through the thing to look for weak spots.
Okay. So your vision clears utterly. The mist falls away, and Gregarious is the first one to get a full view of this thing. I am going to describe this thing the way it actually looks, because your characters do not have a frame of reference. So I'm going to leave to you the interpretation of it, but I'm going to describe it as you, the players, will understand it. This is a gigantic, robotic, bald eagle. It was made out of metal, not flesh. It is garishly painted in like sort of... it has a cape around its neck that is the American flag. It is wearing sunglasses and a backwards red baseball cap. And if you were to see the other side of that baseball cap, It doesn't have has a very familiar white colored phrase on that bag, the back of it, that I'm not going to repeat here because none of us want to hear it, but you all know what I'm talking about. And under its spreading wings are two beefy-looking human-like arms holding two giant AK-47s. And it is splayed open, gazing over through this mist as you see this. And I will say that there's a gust of wind that once Gregaros sees this thing, there's a gust of wind that momentarily clears the mist so that you all get a glimpse of this horror before you as the sun shines down on it, gleaming metal. And it opens its beak in response, and the sound of Heartbreaker by Pat Benatar starts to play out of its mouth.
So
And then the mist rolls back in.
Not even the Titans would deign to ally themselves with this foul creature.
just
This is the worst beast I've ever come across in any game I've played ever.
Just to be clear, do I actually see through it to see
Yes.
weak spots?
You do not see weak spots, but you do see that it has like internal workings and gears. Like, because you can see through metal and stone, you know for certain this thing is a metallic creature. And you do see like a concentration of what you can see that there's a concentration of like energy lines, which, you know, are wires and like control mechanisms up by that collar. Up by that saddle on the back. It does indeed have like a cowboy saddle strapped to the back of its neck.
This keeps getting worse.
Okay.
This is terrible.
I try to think of the worst thing that
Kill it with fire.
an ancient
Kill it. We have to
person
kill
would
it.
see.
This is why we formed the Phalanx. This is why the goal is here. It must die.
It must die. So that is what you all see. And even though the mist comes in, Gregaris, you're still witnessing this. You still see this horror because your eyes are so clear.
Very well.
So how you guys approach it? It is not reacting to you, because it seemed to be preening itself, spreading its wings, as this music is issuing. Like, it's not moving its mouth. It's just music is coming out of it.
Gregaris, what do you see?
A mechanical monstrosity of some sort. Something more complex than the Antikythera mechanism, but something along the same lines. Gears and various metals straining against power tied to a saddle, and a person is controlling it.
You don't see a person. You just see like an empty saddle.
The empty saddle for somebody to control it. And apparently there are arms with strange mechanisms that seem like some sort of strange blunt weapons, but they seem awkward.
It has both wings and arms.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
saw that in my
Truly
visions,
monstrous.
yes.
But its control its power seems to come from sort of route through that saddle.
I'm going to turn to Arturos and say to the massive bear beside us, how far can you throw?
Oh my god. I'm ready. I don't. I will,
Fastball.
if necessary, revert to human form. And
No. You have to just go roar, roar, roar. That's how you need to communicate.
It's all right. I speak bear.
To throw. I am at the mercy of the story guide. I will I will yeet Demetrios with my bear maw if need be, or I can revert to human form.
No,
Absolutely.
You can do stuff in bear form. You can stand up and pick him up. And, you're a very agile bear. Okay, so that's how we're popping this off. You're throwing a man at a robotic eagle through the mists.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, what we're gonna do, I will let you make that athletics roll to do that before we roll initiative. So let's see how this goes.
Now remember, there are a number of enhancements waiting for us to use.
How big is that pool again?
17.
Oh boy.
What's the worst that could happen?
Indeed.
No. We're going to find out.
Bullets. I'm pretty sure bullets.
I mean, yeah.
You have no frame of reference for what those things are and what they can do.
I mean, a bullet to us is the thing that you put in the sling before you.
Right.
Uh-huh.
I have a silly question.
Uh-huh.
Sillier than maybe not as silly as what we're doing now. Would my specialty in close combat work for this? The specialty being beast-like.
This thing is in the shape of a beast. So I will say
Excellent.
that will apply and give you that. I may have simplified things a little bit. You get a number of bonus dice equal to sort of like at 3 dots in a skill, the close combat skill, you get 1 die. At 4 dots, you get 2 dice, and at 5 dice, you get 3 dice for that specialty. So, what's your close combat rating?
5.
So you get 3 bonus dice for
Excellent.
throwing your friend at this monster.
That is going to be 5 successes.
5 successes. Okay. So you're just going with this, Demetrios?
No, I asked him to do it. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So, through the mists, a bear claw picks you up. He rears back, gets on his hind legs, and like full on Olympic shot puts you flying through the air. And it's not quite enough to get you up to where this creature is right now, because it's on this like big rocky thing that has a waterfall coming out of it. Now I need you to make an athletics roll, Demetrios.
Yeah, sure. Not a problem. Dexterity athletics, might athletics, which one would you like?
Let's go with dexterity. You're trying to manage this landing.
Yes, I am. All right, I have 3 successes to manage the landing.
Okay, 3 successes. So you manage to get the arc up into the point where like you're getting closer to it. You're getting closer to it. You realize, okay, there's not enough juice here to get me all the way up here. So you twist and turn and manage to get yourself on a handhold about halfway up this rocky enclosure, this rocky outcropping. So you're going to have to climb your way up to get to that. And now is where we're going to have to roll initiative, because that was a baller move that happened. So the way initiative works in Story Path is you're going to take the lower of your dexterity plus empathy or your cunning plus athletics and roll that.
Well, the lower, huh? Okay.
Do we need to reveal to you if, like, even though the dots themselves are the same, do you want us to go with like the lower of the attributes or something?
No, the lower of the total pool.
Okay, but both of them are the same roughly. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
And some of you, there might be some edges on your character sheets, like lightning reflexes or something like that would give you enhancement on this.
Yep. Enhancement's just an extra die.
Yeah, no, enhancement is an extra success pending getting a success on the roll.
Gotcha. Okay, so I have 3 then.
Okay. Okay, Goose.
No successes.
Uh-oh.
None.
None. What about the bear? Oh, geez. Okay. All right.
I will actually go ahead and spin one of the enhancements
Mm-hmm.
to bring me up to 2.
Bringing you up to 2. Okay. I rolled 4. So the eagle is gonna make a go. Yeah, this display of athleticism that you sort of rushed out on the beach. So it sees the movement. Doesn't seem to. It may or may not have noticed what you threw, but it certainly noticed you. So it is going to level one of these. It's going to raise one of these atrocity of an arm, of a human-looking arm, and level this long, blunt thing in the direction of the great bear. And there is the sound of a lightning strike. Thunder cracks through the area there's a flash at the front of it. Please roll your defense, bear, which is going to be one of your resilience attributes. Do you have anything else that adds to such to
Terrifying. Where do I find that on the sheet?
So you've got your 9 attributes.
Okay, yep.
And then the bottom row are your resilience attributes. So
Resilience attribute. Okay.
But
So what am I rolling again?
You aren't rolling anything because the bear is getting shot.
Oh, I thought you said mare.
No,
bear.
I said the bear.
It's there.
It's
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
proceed as you were.
That is going to be. I don't think I have anything that will help with this. So I think that
Yeah.
is 1 success.
You do have the enhancement pool you could draw from if you needed
You
to.
could draw some enhancement from it.
I'll be all right. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I should be. I'm confident. I'll be.
Okay.
I don't know how well placed that is, but I'm confident.
Do you have anything that grants you any durability scale?
Yes. Increases character's attaining a giant stature. Yeah, increases durability and might scales by 1.
Okay, so you have a total of 2 durability scale, which is very good, because this means it only has 1 power scale on you.
Hell yeah.
With its enhancement, and how much defense did you have?
I rolled 1.
You rolled a 1. Okay, so, and does any of your powers or anything give you any armor, like soft armor?
So putting on the beast shape, this is kind of going to be up to you because so it just says depending on the animal, it may increase its speed scale by 1 for running, or perhaps oh, where is it? Where did it go? Uses may possess a single melee attack. The animal could also possess up to 2 points of soft armor.
Okay. I would say
So it's
in big bear form, you have 2 points of soft armor.
excellent.
So that's a good thing. So, doing some math here. So it is going to do a point of damage to you as this hot shard of metal flies from this, quicker than any arrow, quicker than any sling. There is a chunk of meat gets torn off your shoulder. And in fact, I definitely think it has enough to do 2 points of damage to you. So you're getting a critical hit on this. So from this long wand type thing, this long staff, there's a flash, and then a chunk of meat is blown off the bear's shoulder.
Hurt bear noises.
It's not good. Okay. So that is the Eagles go. It's very quick. Who had the next highest initiative?
I think
that was
I did it.
Demetrios.
You did?
Yeah, I think I
And
did.
something to
Three.
note, just because you rolled that particular thing doesn't mean you have to be the one to go. If there's someone who might be better at going on this, you can choose to default to other people. This just sort of sets ranks in the go. But yeah, if you want to go, you can. But if someone else would be better, you get to make the call. But
okay. Yeah, I don't know if anybody in the group else has. If I feel tactically that they feel like they've got a better opportunity to enact a power or something like that, that's fine. Happy to do so. If not, then I can't just allow such a foul creature to hurt a fellow hero. That's not acceptable.
okay. So yeah, so you are clinging about halfway up on this rocky outcropping. And the eagle is still sort of roosted up on the top of it. So I will say you are at long range band right now. So what are you doing?
I probably don't have anything. I mean, I have probably had the spear on my back. I wouldn't be able to carry any weapons while I was being thrown. So I'm going to try to scale the rest of the distance. I'm essentially going to try to close distance.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and make me an athletics roll for that. So you're taking your movement, and your action is to try and go another full range band, which will get you up at the top.
Cool. Wow. That's kind of unbelievable. I have 4.
4 successes. So quickly, with the strength of ambrosia running through your veins, you find a foothold. You find a foothold. You launch yourself up, scaling this small outcropping that takes you up, and you see this thing towering above you. I mean, this is a size 3 object, so about the same as Bear when Bear gets fully going. But like its wingspan and its alien garish nature is just very, very apparent as you get close up on this thing. But you have to gather yourself to try and make an attack on it. So who would like to go next?
Me?
Garrus?
Yeah, I have. I got 2, so I think I am next.
You could go next if you're going in order.
Yeah, I'm going to stop time again.
Okay.
Spend an inspiration on that.
Mm-hmm.
And quick question, does this count as a living creature?
This is not a living creature.
Then I'm going to climb up on its back.
Okay. Let me review how much time you actually get for that.
There's a die roll.
It's a die roll. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's command plus intellect roll.
Okay.
Number of successes.
Go ahead and make that roll then for me, please.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I got 2. I will go ahead and spend 2 of the enhancements we have left to make that 4.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you are able to. This is a very funny image in my head. As like you stop time, everything is going crazy around you. You see that the thing sort of leveling its other weapon. As it's raising its claw to maybe swipe at Demetrios, and you're just sort of like, a little old man, walking staff, taking his time, heading up the rocky thing, climbing onto it. So you have plenty of time to get up into the saddle, or I'm assuming that's where you're headed.
Yep, I'm headed for the saddle, and I'm going to try and figure out how to control this thing. Okay,
so. I will say that is a lot of movement that you would have to take. It would take you the full thing because it's up there.
Right.
So yeah, you get yourself in position to be able to start trying to figure this out.
Okay.
And time resumes. So Bear, and the navigator, the priestess, your wise friend is just not there anymore. As things come back. So who would like to take the next action?
I think both of us got zeros. Right?
Yeah.
I think you all,
Yeah.
3 of you.
All 3 of us.
Out there. Yeah.
So whoever
have
wants to
some
take the 0 action.
Rock, paper, scissors. I could. I could try something.
Okay.
So I have. I'm still next to this water, so I'm going to once again summon forth the water of Hades. But
Mhm.
this, I will be pulling forth the water of Casitis, which is icy black waters that the divine ichor seems to freeze in place. In addition, attacks with Casitis can are sharp enough to slice bronze.
Okay. All right.
I don't know what kind of metal it is. I just know it's weird and freaky, and I'm gonna I would like to try to A, do that, and then B, the goal is to aim it at the weird arms holding the weird boomsticks.
Okay. Does that power list what range you can attack at?
It says I can do what I want.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I thought we had style point. No, okay, that's cool. It says it doesn't actually, I'm not seeing it state a range. There, it's a long one here.
Okay.
Let me see if it'll even fit the little chat like character limit. Yep, that is too long.
Too much? Okay.
Let me try and
All
hit
right.
the bottom.
I will say what I will say here is that there's going to be a complication on this roll.
Cool.
Of a level 2 complication. So
All right.
essentially, it's essentially going to be enhanced difficulty to try and reach as far as you can. So go ahead and make the roll for that attack.
Okay, so this is I spend an inspiration and then I have to make a pilot and manipulation roll. So that's for these, and then let me check. I don't have any specialties.
But you do have a pool of enhancement to call from.
Oh, that is true. So can I do that after the fact, or?
Yeah, you can pull from.
Okay,
that
so let me roll what I got here, and then we'll see what's needed. I just got 5 successes because I got 2 9s, and then I rolled a 10 twice and got another 9.
Okay. And does that power itself give you any enhancement?
It says for this one, I don't see the word like +1 enhancement or anything amongst this, but it does say that the difficulty of activating any gift is increased by 1 for the scene's duration, as it seems to freeze in place. So I don't know if that means for the enemy or for me, but it did say that I needed to have 3 successes in the first place.
Okay, so 3 successes in the first place. Gotcha. Okay. So how much enhancement would you like to pull from the general pool?
Do I need more enhancement? Do I need to get more than?
I will say you do need to pull some to
Okay.
make a hit.
We have 17, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to start by pulling 3.
We don't have 17, we have 14 now, but pull your 3, that's fine.
All right, I'll pull 3.
Okay.
And
So,
that would get that to an 8 for.
Okay. So doing that, you are able to send out this tendril of icy liquid that just barely reaches and forms a shrieking metal scratch on the arms of this creature. It does not sever the arm, but it does damage it.
Okay.
All right. So we have the bear and the priestess. Who wants to go next?
Up to you.
I'll go. I don't have much. I will say that I would like to use another gift of mine,
Okay.
one of my labors.
Mm-hmm.
And once per session, the character may declare that a task in front of her is one of her labors for the remainder of the session. So long as she takes on the task alone, I apply a +5 enhancement to any action made to conquer the labor. I'd like my labor to not be hit.
Okay. Nice. So what this would be was you're basically making a full defensive roll.
Mhm.
And you would add 5 enhancement to that. So basically you rolled the next time you are attacked,
Mhm.
which, who knows when that'll be. You're going to roll double your resilience attribute and then add 5 enhancement to that.
Perfect.
So, but that happens when you're attacked.
Okay.
So I believe that leaves the Great Bear.
I am going to charge, and if I might offer someone a ride, I guess, if at all possible.
Sorry. Yeah, you can get someone on your back. You've got the priestess and the navigator, who can take a ride if they so desire. You can both of them
if
get on
anyone
your back
wants
if you
to,
want. You're a big bear.
sweet. Yeah, if y'all want to get up close and personal, that's an option.
I mean,
Sure.
yeah, I could probably get closer. I'm not trying to get like
Yeah.
right on this thing.
Yeah, you guys can hop off whenever you like. I'm getting in its stupid face.
All right, so you are moving up, trying to get up to it.
Yeah, I also have the edge swift for a +1 speed scale.
Nice. You are actually a very fast bear.
I actually have
Very
a question
very
then
geek.
too. If I'm riding him, I have the gift of fast travel, which cuts our travel time in whatever it is in half, I believe. Fast travel, scroll. Yeah, it doesn't matter if your character is running from one quarter of the city to another. In all cases, your character can make the journey in half the time.
So
for all forms of travel, if riding, running, marching, anything, 5 times your character's intuitive facet, whatever that means.
And I believe you have a pretty hefty intuitive facet.
I do.
So here's what happens. The Great Bear, you motion for people to come up on your back. And you're a fast bear. Like you can run strong and hard. But as soon as the navigator's hands grip into your fur, you are possessed with a speed you have never known before. And you, without the need of a roll, bound up this rock and waterfall, leaping from outcropping to outcropping, and find yourself along with your friends at the top of this as this monstrous eagle spreads its wings, and making it difficult for you to use its gun arms. So you're all up at the top now.
I am Lightning Bear.
Yeah, but that did take quite a bit. Not making you roll, but it would be your action to do so.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we are at the top of the round. And the eagle is not okay with this. He's not happy. He's not a happy mechanical America eagle. And he is going to make a very quick little roll for him, kind of gauge the threat level. Yeah, he senses the wounded, and is going to take another attack at the Great Bear. So go ahead and roll your defense again.
Do your worst, Pat Benatar.
I know. It's the invincible winner.
No.
That wasn't going to be an aspect of this until I heard that song on the radio yesterday. And I was like, no, it's got to happen.
Much better than previously.
Mm-hmm.
That is a roll to 3,
Mm-hmm.
and then with the wait, where to go? Where to go? The B shape of the soft armor
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
2, and the
It's still soft armor
durability.
too. Yeah. Okay. So it's still going to be the same power differential. Um. mhm, mhm. Uh. And what's your total defense then?
Rolled 3. The soft armor of 2.
Okay. So you
Yeah,
rolled three, so that
that's
means you have a total of 4 defense. Awesome. Soft armor of 2. So yeah, this talon lifts up and kicks you square in the chest. You're going to take another point of damage.
understood.
But yeah, this like metallic eagle talon kicks you in the chest and digs into your flesh. But that's its go.
Understood.
So I believe that would be next, if we're going by traditional initiator, would be Demetrius.
It would be. It would be. It would be. Okay. So to get things kicked off, I'm going to spend a point of inspiration for the bigger they are. So what this does is it activates a gift for this single round, right? And so when I'm in conflict with an opponent of higher scale than me, I reduce the difference in scale between me and my highest inspiration facet, which is 1. So I bring him down 1, which is good for me,
Oh yeah.
but not to less than 0. So, and that is as long as he's not scale 4.
He is not scale 4. No.
Okay, that's good. Because if he was, it wouldn't work. And then, yeah, I'm going to. I am going to make an attack against him. So in doing so, I will fast draw to gain an enhancement because I can do that. And then I am going to initiate intensive focus.
Okay.
And so I'm going to remove any complications or difficulty modifiers from my attack action
All right.
to sort of level the playing field. And then I'm going to take a big old hearty swing at this dude.
And I believe the blessing that you have on your thing gives you a power scale to it, right?
It does. So it gives me from the Oracle's post for the rest of the scene, the attacks with this weapon inflict grievous injury conditions to the inspired or other characters with source, reflecting damage to nanites or similar exotic powers in the system. So if the complications from this are not bought off, the target loses a point of inspiration or source depending upon
okay.
the.
So it drains it. Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Yeah. Make your attack roll then.
Okay. Do so. All right. So that is 4 successes plus the enhancement. And then I'm going to put 3 points of enhancement in this.
Okay.
And so that'll be 7 total.
So you stand, you're going to hit it. You're going to do it enough to hit it and crit it. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. So what I'm going to go for is I would love to play on the basically the opening that has already been made by Basilides. Right. And so I would like Demetrius to step in and sort of get in within its circle and show that like it can't crowd me out. And then what I do is leap into the air and I do this real long overhead swing with the sword to try to remove a hand or arm or wing and just really open a gash in this thing up.
Yeah. So you do so. You catch it at the elbow joint at this ridiculous arm of its left arm. And it just completely severs it, dropping both the arm and the weapon that it wields in that arm down, and it tumbles over the edge of the waterfall. A true mighty blow. Who goes next? All right, so you are trying. So this thing is like bucking around and weaving, and you kind of like you had enough time to like kind of like strap yourself in, because there are like straps and stirrups and whatnot. This is a very much a cowboy saddle, a horse
So-
saddle.
I'm going to spend my last inspiration for another one of my gifts.
Okay.
Gearus beyond one's years.
All right. What does that do?
It gives me +2 scale on all mental actions for the rest of the scene.
Very cool. All right.
On the downside, once the gift is activated, anyone else with let's see, at any point during the rest of the game session, the story guide may declare one of the player's failures a botch.
I see. Okay. Noted. All right. Well, then this is definitely an Enigma's role to try and understand the strange alien workings of this saddle control device.
Okay.
And you're
Does
operating at +2 mental scale. Excellent.
which means what to my die roll?
It means nothing to your die roll. It means that I will adjust your roll as necessary.
This is my biggest pool, so. Okay, there are 2 10s plus 1, so I'm at 3 so far. And 3, I'll spend 3 of the enhancements to get 6.
Okay. You start trying to figure it out. There are, there's sort of like an aesthetic of like leather and things that you understand, like of how a traditional kind of saddle for riding a beast would be. But underneath that, as you sort of like pull that away, and you can see that those things are attached to more metallic and stranger materials kind of underneath that covering that you are trying to figure out. And so you've peeled away the first layer of artifice at this and are trying to get into the actual methods of control at this. So you've made a great deal of progress on doing that, but you have yet to grasp the means of control yet. But
Okay.
you're starting to get it. Who wants to go next? I think we have our trio of zeros.
By all means.
I could give it a go. Let's see. So I think I may have 2 more inspiration left because we had the first one we got back. Okay, so I have 2 inspiration left. I'm gonna spend one of those again.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, now we're all by this thing, so I can't do any like super duper crazy stuff without all of us getting.
It is big enough to take hits. Like this thing is the size of like a very large bus.
True, but some folks are on top of this thing, right?
It's true, but you know what? Hey, we're in an action anime kind of thing, so do let your freak flag fly.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna end up just kind of going with the same thing I have. Okay, so this thing is firing. It's mechanical. Is it sentient of some kind? Does it have some level of thought to it?
Make me an empathy roll. And this won't count
Okay.
as your action.
This what will not count as
This
my.
will not count as your action.
Okay, great. Love that. Empathy just by itself or with something else?
Empathy plus, let's say,
Cunning. All right, cool. Nope.
Nope.
Yeah, no, I do not understand birds. Birds are weird. whether real or metal.
I will say what you see is like you try and get a glimpse at its eyes, because
Mhm.
regardless of anything, the eyes are the windows to the soul. And you just see, in addition to like the cold avian, lock of emotion, it is glass. It is beyond that. It is just a pure reflection of yourself in which you see nothing. That does not tell you whether or not it may just simply be so alien from you that whatever intelligence or sentience it has is just incomprehensible to you. But you lack the wherewithal to determine this answer. So,
But it
you do have an
is
action.
glass.
It is glass, yes.
Interesting. Okay, so from where I am now, being able to see that it is glass, I would like to again use Casitas, the icy shards, and I'm going to aim them at the eyes on this thing.
All right, yeah, go ahead and make your roll.
All right. That spends another inspiration, and then that puts me with pilot manipulation. Zero, I think. Okay. Four successes, but now I'm closer, so I don't have that complication.
No, you don't have that complication.
Okay, cool. So that beats the 3 successes that I need for that
Yes.
particular thing.
So, yes,
Yay.
you send a tendril of water that freezes mid-go straight into one of its eyes, and you hear the shattering of glass as it screeches, in addition to having the Pat Benatar. So yeah, it thrashes its head. Thank goodness, Gargaris, you're strapped in. So who would like to go next?
I'm gonna again just stay out of the way. There's really not much I can do in combat.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
So
I'm just gonna
you're gonna go full defensive again.
yes.
Gotcha. Noted. So, Mr. Bear.
Seeing Gregorius skillfully dismantle and sort of with the mind of a scientist almost try to get the inner workings of this. I'm gonna help as best I can in the dismantling. Strategically, scientifically, we're gonna tear this fucking thing to shreds.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hit it, and I'm gonna use my forceful martial arts edge
Okay.
for a deadly strike, where I can trade accuracy for force and give my attack the brutal tag.
Nice.
Okay.
Okay.
But it does add a complication, +1 complication to lose my next turn.
Okay.
Whenever I use the attack.
Okay. Make that roll.
Yeah, that'll be. Math is hard. Okay, we got 3, 4, 5. Nice. Okay. Big pool. Come on. I believe in you. Okay. Sweet. All right. That'll be 3 successes.
Okay. And how much enhancement does that grant you? The force martial arts?
It doesn't grant an enhancement, just grabs the brutal tag.
The brutal tag. Gotcha. Okay. But you do have power. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so you get your claws into this thing, and it is very apparent when you actually make physical contact with this thing that this is metal. This is like someone wearing armor. There's no flesh to this at all. So you dig your claws in and try it as much as you can. And the music stops. And speaking in a language that none of you inherently understand unless anyone has the polyglot edge.
I do.
Okay. Make me if you have the polyglot edge, make me a humanities roll.
What would that be with if you don't have like a dot?
Probably cunning.
Cunning? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No successes.
No successes.
No successes.
So none of you understand as a computerized voice says, self-destruction protocol engaged, opening core. But as I will say that as its chest cracks open and you all start to feel that flameless heat start to boil out from it, you do understand that if you do not somehow take control of this beast, something very, very bad is about to happen. That is pretty easy to understand as you feel what you do not understand as radiation start to boil out from this thing. So we're at the top of the round, and that's what it did.
Okay. Well, Demetrius comes normally next in the initiative phasing. He is also hardy. He has 3 points of hardy, and so he can probably withstand some of the radiation that begins to emanate out from this thing. But that said, I think, how big is that cowboy saddle? Just wondering. Is it only gonna?
It's a person size.
Okay.
And Gregarious has strapped himself into it.
He has.
I will say, like, you don't think hitting it is going to stop whatever's about to happen.
Yeah, I get a feeling like what needs to happen is we need to run. My question is Gregarios seemingly too tied into his work to move? Like, I know he's an old man, a wise one, but an old man, and like I worry for him.
I mean, he is strapped into the seat, among other things, so it would take him a while to disengage.
You know what? I disagree with that sentiment. I bet my sword is a little sharper than the leather straps that have you attached to that saddle.
Please don't. I'm this close to stopping this thing from blowing up.
You know, it's all about perception, though. It is. So I will call to the back of the beast and call up to Gregarios and say, "We must flee. Get off the damn thing."
Oh, it's fine. I will handle it. To get to safe distance, though, just in case I'm wrong.
Okay. Then I'm grabbing the cleric and get the heck out of here.
Yeah, consent to being grabbed and moved. Awesome. All right, so make me an athletics roll. Just
you bet.
How much? There's kind of a flat plane behind this waterfall that you think is much more runnable than going down it.
My athletics is really good as it states there, so I have 3 successes.
Okay, yeah, you were able to move up to long range with that roll with your cleric in tow, and so next would be 2. So if you, I'm guessing you want to try and make another one of those enigmas rolls.
Yes, I do.
We have 5 enhancement left, just so you're aware.
We have 5. Good to know. I'm really trying to figure this out so I can stop it from blowing up. There's no telling how big an explosion this is going to be. Oh, okay. Well, that's a decent roll already. So I'm already at 5, and I have 3 10s to reroll.
Okay.
Nice.
Six. I will spend. Honestly, I'm going to spend. Does it feel how close does it feel to me figuring this out?
You're feeling pretty good. but it's still incredibly complicated. Like there could be something you're missing. You're confident that you have a good handle on it, but it is still something so far beyond your common understanding, even though your mind is burning with ambrosia at the moment.
I'm going to spend 4 of the
Okay.
remaining 5. Bring me up to 10 more successes on figuring this out.
Okay. So the options array out in front of you. You understand the control mechanisms of this. You see how you can, you see that it's running on sort of an automatic program of acting on its own recognizance, either following some sort of like inscribed protocol. But you can see how you can command all the individual functions. You see the flight button. You see that you can take control of the wings. You can see, the various, arm movements, the weapons control. You see like this list of glowing languages, listing, hundreds upon hundreds of strange list of classic 70s and 80s rock that could be played. So you can take full control of this thing, but you also like open up a hatch and see just like a big pull lever that looks like it's like it leads down to like the core of the beast. That
Okay. Like it would stop it.
yeah, like kind of a kill switch kind of thing, like some sort of like main control system.
Yeah, I'll stop it. I can.
Okay.
Now that I know how to control the thing,
Yeah.
stopping it seems the higher priority.
So what happens when you pull this thing? It kind of like its movements stop. Its chest still continues to open, but then this glowing blue cylinder gets pushed out forward along a rail and then ejects up into the sky. And in an explosion that to modern eyes would look exactly like a elaborate fireworks display that shows the sparkling American flag over this bay, the core of this beast is ejected before it explodes, killing you all. And the thing slumps into inactivity.
Well then. Well, that was interesting.
And then America the Brave starts playing as the power dwindles down.
Tear into this fucking thing once more. It's making sounds again.
So is it warping too? Like it's powering down so you get all the.
Yeah, it's powering down as jingoistic themes try and eke its way out. But you have defeated the creature. You have wiped its shadow away from this land. Your task is accomplished.
Fabulous.
And as you are all sort of like climbing down from the beast and settling down, the compass, it starts to glow in acknowledgement of your success. And the back of it starts to twist and change, and writing in Greek starts to illuminate from the back of it. And it says, "This part of the journey is complete, and you may return, but one among you's task is yet to be accomplished. Only one may follow the path further to resolve the evil that has plagued this land. It is a long and strange journey, and the one suited and destined to do so will know, as the compass will point only for them." And then it stops to glow.
He will go over and sort of turn the compass to see if it turns the arrow.
Yeah, the compass has stopped moving,
Mhm.
But when you pick it up, it points directly towards the waterfall. But it like starts to like make it clear that the path is down the rocky onto the beach and behind the waterfall, and it is certainly doing that for you.
Oh. Well, that was exciting.
Sure, that's a word for it.
Yeah, put the cleric down.
We were promised adventure and we received it. That was more monstrous than many monsters I've heard of or seen.
I apparently have a more adventure for myself, I'm afraid.
Oh,
Oh,
well, congratulations. And pat you on the shoulder.
may the gods bless your path.
I hope to catch up with you at some point and we can share stories. That would be nice.
Just shove a big bear head into Gregoros.
Scratch behind the ear.
So, as the sun reaches its zenith in the sky, and Gregario starts to make his way down that beach as he saw when he first grabbed the compass, I have a question for the rest of you. How long do you wait for Gregaros to return from behind the waterfall?
I don't remember him asking us to wait.
Yeah, I mean, he did not, but would you? Or would you get back on your ship and sail west?
I think we've earned at least a good meal and perhaps rest here and
Say a
see.
night under the stars in this new land. See if he comes back. Keep checking over at the waterfall. This, boat parked down there.
Mm-hmm.
And just kind of keep checking at the waterfall for pinpricks of light or anything that we see signs of Gregaris.
Okay, so at least a night.
At least.
Okay, so that is where we're going to end this adventure of Trinity Continuum Aegis. Did y'all have fun?
Yeah, that was great.
Absolutely.
That was wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome, great. In tradition of my Onyx Path Trinity Continuum games, I get all timey-wimey, and it's only going to get more timey-wimey from here, because soon, at 5 p.m., I'm going to be running Adventure, which is another game line here, and Jeremiah is going to be joining us for that game, as
Hell
Gregaris, as he journeys to find what's behind the waterfall. So, before we head out, does anyone have anything that they'd like to plug or promote for going forward, either at the convention or beyond?
Yeah, I mean, generally, a couple things actually. Just generally, Luna and myself are part of the Rolling Nomads. So, if you enjoyed watching us or anything else that we're in the con, you can find us over on twitch.tv/Rolling Nomads, and that's where you find our stuff. Additionally, to kind of plug the game itself, Aegis is really great. I wrote for this book, and some of the gifts that were used in this were some of the work that I contributed, and it was really cool to see. So yeah, it's a really great game, and I know the manuscript is out right now.
Yep.
But whenever the full release is out, you should pick it up.
Yeah, I believe you can get it by backing it on BackerKit. You can get access to the
Yeah.
manuscript. Anyone else have anything they'd like to plug?
Yeah, piggybacking off of that, Rolling Nomads is currently doing a month-long charity with the Trevor Project.
Awesome.
So if anyone's
Nice.
interested in supporting that, you can find that link on our Twitter, in our Discord, or it's going to be in chat on our page for the rest of the month. Honestly, probably till the goal's done.
Great.
So
That's good to know.
yeah.
Anybody else?
Go ahead, man.
All right. Well, I am a member of the Old Ways podcast, so I will be making a couple of debuts, kind of staggered out. Some Patreon, some out there in the world soon. But I also am currently taking part in Castleton, which is a 100 creator event. Hunger Games meets Bridgerton. So a little bit of wooing, a little bit of warring. challenges in order to fight for love or life. So I'm enjoying that. That'll be fun. Actually, the first episode of that I will be in is premiering later today. So I'm very excited for that.
I assume people can find that on your social media.
Yes, I'm Oh Hello Mayor everywhere. Yeah, all of the socials.
Awesome. Jeremiah, Michael, anything you guys want to shout out?
I have a Twitch stream of my own every other Monday, including this coming Monday, of Newark by Night. It's sort of Vampire the Masquerade via a more what we do in the shadows tone. But yeah, feel free to swing by and check it out.
Awesome. And Michael.
Yeah, and so I'm the chief catalyst and troublemaker at the Old Ways podcast, also on the Old Ways Twitch. So we're here as well. Check out our channel; that'd be great. On the podcast side, 600-700-ish or so episodes, including a patron and patron-only shows and games like that, as Mary alluded to. More to come, and yeah, we're here to entertain you. The mostly investigative horror, but then we have a couple seasons of VTM and all sorts of things for you to enjoy.
Awesome. And as for me, like I said, running Adventure at 5 p.m. And also Anima tomorrow evening, which all three of these games are connected by a thread, and you'll just have to watch to see what that thread is. You can also check me out, Simulacra TV on Twitch. I also have a long campaign planned of Trinity Continuum Aeon that's currently running called Asaya, which is very fun, and I hope you check it out. But for now, I got to get ready for my next game, so we're going to say goodbye.